What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Talking Watches with Eoin. In today's episode, we're going to discuss Rolex, the charity. Yes, I said it, a charity. I'm going to explain how Rolex is a charity and how this affects the whole brand and their marketing, and maybe one of the reasons why we're seeing all these shortages. So let's get into the video. Roll the intro. So when we say Rolex, what do we actually mean? Rolex is a series of companies headed up by Rolex SA, and to make it even more complicated, some of these companies within the Rolex SA group own portions of the other companies. But basically, they're all owned by the Hans Wardorf Foundation. Hans has been the founder of Rolex, which was established the foundation in 1945 to commemorate his wife, who passed away in 1944. He was the sole owner of Rolex, a very lucky man, and gave all his shares to the foundation. When he passed away in 1960, control of the foundation went to a reported 5 foundation trustees. So you hear me right, I said trustees. So where does all the money go? If they've no shareholders, where do all these huge profits that we know Rolex make go? So obviously, first off, there's salaries that have to be paid, there's operation expenses, there's manufacturing costs, research and development, all these are covered. But much of the balance that is left over gets injected back into the company or goes to a number of charities, including they have the Rolex Institute, which furthers the company's charitable activities. They have the Rolex Award for Enterprise, which recognises pioneering people around the world who are trying to improve life on Earth. They also have the Rolex Mentor and Protege Art Incentives, you guessed it, which is kind of supporting extremely talented young artists, and whatever is left goes back into the bank and is stored for that rainy day. They don't have to produce a number, but they're said that Rolex could go on for years without making $1 in revenue. That's how much they have saved. So what does being a non-profit really mean for a business model? To me, it's one of the main reasons Rolex has lasted so long. They're in it for the long haul. Whatever other company is producing like get rich quick, limited editions, Rolex is keeping production nice and steady. Some people probably say too slow, but it's nice and steady. They've no shareholders really demanding more sales, more profits, or target prices that they have to meet. Its main goal is to ensure the longevity and strength of the brand. And why wouldn't it? It's a charity. Like all charities, would you prefer to have 100 years of constant funding, or try and make as much money as you can for a few years with the risk of losing it all? So does this explain the Rolex shortages we are seeing, or why it's so hard to get a steel Rolex from your AD? To a certain degree, yes, but Rolex has been an MPO for years. The problem Rolex is facing is there's such high demand, and they don't really have that incentive or a big enough incentive to go and fill it. It suits their business model to be in the situation where the brand name is so strong because of demand, and that will then future lead to the brand being around, relevant, and obviously keep doing what they're doing on the charity side. So it doesn't make you feel different about the brand knowing that it's owned by a charity? I think so. It's one of the many great stories in the watch world that we tend to forget about, that we get so caught up in overpriced watches and these imaginary waiting lists that you're on for years. In the end, Rolex is a completely different company than any other watch company, and this is one of the most amazing things about Rolex and why we're so fascinated about them. They really do something special, playing out of a different rule book, and this is one of the main reasons for their success and why in 100 years like watch geeks like us will still be talking about Rolex. It's just a special brand, and it deserves the crown. So I really hope you enjoyed this short video. I know it wasn't too long. I'm trying to keep them nice and short because I don't want to waste your time. But thank you for all the support on the last video. Can't believe we got that number of views, the biggest views we've got so far. So please check it out, and always please subscribe and spread the good word. The more subs means the more videos. So please enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next time.